Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here. And today we are doing a reverse Wip and Chat. Now, if you're trying to figure out what the world of reverse Wip and Chat is, it's when Miss Coffee makes a big mistake on her diamond painting and we go and fix it. So instead of putting drills down, we're picking drills up. And you guys are going to join me because I don't have much time to record this. So I'm going to be just, picking off the drills that don't belong where they are. So what ended up happening is I was recording and I got interrupted. When I got interrupted, I forgot what symbol I was on and ended up placing a bunch of drills on the wrong symbol. I also thought I was still recording and apparently I wasn't. So yeah, Miss Coffee's having one of those days. Ever have one of those days where you just want to snap out and like set something on fire? That's the type of day Miss Coffee's having. So I hope you're having a better day. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. I am somewhat working. I'm working on Mort in reverse, okay? There's nothing worse than putting drills in the wrong spot and then having to pick them up. So if you don't know, this dark blue you're seeing right here, like all of this has to be picked up. Yeah. Because, again, I got interrupted and then I forgot what symbol I was working on and I put them all in the wrong spot. I was super excited, too, because I was like, I'm making good progress. I'm doing good. No. I had to shut that train down real quick. I was like, hold up, something don't look right here. Why doesn't this look like the other side? Oh, snap, it's the wrong color. So we are now going to have sticky drills, which, of course, to remedy that, you could just, warm soapy water and then, dry them off and put them back. But Miss Coffee's lazy and we're just going to wait until we find a bunch of that symbol. So yeah, either way. So it's been one of those days today. This weekend went somewhat better. So this weekend I decided that I wasn't going to I wasn't going to go live on the channel because they were doing the DP-a-thon. And I know a lot of people were confused when they saw a live pop up and they thought that YouTube just didn't inform them. Now, what happened was I was alerted to the DP-a-thon about a week or so ago. But I didn't realize, because usually when they do the DP-a-thon, they do it on a Saturday. So they do it from Saturday to Sunday. Well, this time they went from Friday to Sunday because I guess they had so many people that wanted to participate, which is fine. And because I didn't know, I was like, oh, well, I don't want to get caught up in the rigmarole of the lives, so you guys can take my time slot. And they were like, no, you can keep your time slot. We'll just go around you. And I was like, nah, that's all right. So I went ahead and gave up my time slot to the DP-a-thon folks, and I just did a special live for my Patreons. And then what you guys saw was then the replay of that live. So, that's, I think, what I'm going to do from now on. If they continue to do the DP-a-thon on Fridays, I will just go live for my Patreons and then put up the replay for you guys to kind of watch as a Wip and Chat. Just because I don't want to mess up their schedule, and like if they have so many people wanting to do it, I don't want to, I don't want to take up time that they could be using for those folks. So I'll probably just go live for the Patreons. But we had a great time. So if you didn't watch that live, go back and watch that, because that was good times. And you'll get to hear something about a naked cowboy. There might have been something about a naked cowboy. So yeah, so it was a great weekend. I didn't actually do a whole lot of anything. I actually colored most of the weekend. Just mainly because I was trying to do stuff with the kids. And I was coloring with Maggie. And I thought something was odd because she just randomly got up and left. Like, what I'll do is I get Hannah Lynn printouts, like almost every month. And so what I'll do is, that went flying. What I'll do is I'll print out 2 copies, one for me, one for Maggie. And Maggie decided she wanted to color with Mommy. And I was like, oh, you want to color? Heck yeah, we can color. I just got in the new Hoo brush tip markers for the skin tones. Yes. So I was like, all right, we're going to color. So we start coloring, and she is using a set of markers that I got from my Secret Santa. And because she really likes those markers. They have the nib tip, and she doesn't have to press. She doesn't feel like she has to press down so hard with them. So I was like, oh, go ahead and use those. Well, she just randomly gets up and just hops away like a little bunny. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, you know, that's weird. Because usually she'll at least finish the picture and be like, Mommy, this is for you. Nope, not today. Maggie had decided that she wanted her nails painted. Now, Maggie chews her nails. She's been chewing her nails for like the last couple of months since she started her new medication, which I'm guessing is because the new medication kind of makes her a little bit more skittish, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Probably not, but you know what I mean. But she's been starting to chew her nails. I need to find, and I wonder if they have it on Amazon, that I need to find that nail polish that you take and put on your nails for when you want to stop bite. God darn it. The drills keep flying. I need to find that nail polish that you use whenever you want to stop biting your nails and it tastes like a bag full of buttholes. I need to find that because I want to paint her nails with it. Not that I want my daughter to eat a bag full of buttholes, but I want her to stop biting her nails because she used to have pretty nails and then she started biting them for some reason. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, once you stop biting your nails, because I do color streak, I don't really paint my nails, but she wants her nails painted, and you know, me and Jordan decided, well, this might be able to be a way to get her to stop biting her nails. So we told her, you know, if you stop biting your nails, we'll paint your nails. We've been telling her for this for the longest time. Well, she had asked that morning if we would paint her nails, and I was like, Maggie, she's starting to stop. Like a couple of her fingers are actually growing the nails, and then she's like the little nubs. And I'm like, well, it looks like you're starting, but you got to stop, you know, with all the nails. You can't, like, when I say stop biting your nails, that doesn't mean stop biting 2 of the nails and then you can bite the rest of them. Like, you got to stop biting all of them. And she's like, that's too hard. And I was like, it's a lot of work, but if you put your mind to it, you can do anything, remember? And she's like, yeah, that's what you always say. And I'm like, well, that's the truth. And she's like, no, it's not. She just kind of walks off. She was just mad because she wanted her nails painted because I was doing my nails. And then I decided, because the nail strips I put on, I decided I didn't like them. They were like a lacy kind of nail strip, but they were see-through. I didn't like them at all. They looked horrible on my hand. So I just took them off. And so I was sitting here and Ryan comes out and he goes, Mommy, can I have lunch? And I was like, well, yeah, you can have lunch, dude. It's like 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock on the weekends, the kids have lunch. Okay. So cheers. So I'm sitting there, I get them lunch, I make myself something to eat, and we're all sitting down to lunch. And it was just a pleasant day. Like everybody was just kind of like doing their own thing. It's Saturday, so I talked to my friends. Mr. Coffee plays with the kids and plays with his friends. And so I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden Ryan goes, Mom, did you paint Maggie's fingernails? And I was like, what? No. Why would I paint Maggie's fingernails? She doesn't stop biting her nails yet. And he goes, well, why are her nails purple? And I just hear her go, Orion, shut up. That's none of your business. You're not my boss. And I'm like, what the hell? I go over. Maggie has decided to give herself purple French tips. And I'm like, that is the ghettoest nail job I have ever seen in my life. Like, what are you doing with your life right now, you tiny human? And she's like, I just wanted my nails painted and you wouldn't paint them. So she decided to paint them herself. And I was just like, So after 20 minutes of scrubbing her fingers and nails to get the permanent marker off her finger and nails, we did get it off. And then for some reason, we kept thinking that, you know, one of the kids is sneaking snacks because we kept coming up short on snacks for some reason. And I was like, why? How are we coming up short on snacks all the time? And sorry if you didn't realize it's going to be one of those videos. But we thought, you know, somebody had been sneaking snacks, or Mr. Coffee. I thought Mr. Coffee had been eating the snacks and blaming it on the kids because you know how men are with snacks. So I'm like, you know, how are we already out of crackers? Like now, Maggie has been obsessed with these peanut butter cheddar cracker things that Mr. Coffee has found at Walmart. He bought a 27 pack and in 5 days, they were pretty much all but gone. And Orion eats them too. But Orion's not going to steal a snack. Like, Orion will ask for a snack and then get mad and sit there and pout and cry because you won't give him a snack. Maggie, on the other hand, will take action. And apparently, as I was cleaning her room up, I noticed that there was a cracker wrapper in her room. Now, I don't allow food in the rooms because, you know, bugs. I don't do bugs. So I don't allow food in the room. I don't eat or drink in my room. I don't allow the children to eat or drink in their room. Not even a cup of water. No. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, it's a cracker wrapper. Y'all, I thought I was in an episode of Hansel and Gretel. She had a trail of cracker wrappers all the way behind. Now, she has this giant dollhouse in her room that she got for her birthday last year from my parents. And in the back of it, it sits next to the window with the back of the dollhouse facing the window. But it can't be up against the wall because we have baseboard heaters. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, what is all this? And she's not home, okay? She didn't know that I knew. She knows now, but she didn't know when I did it yesterday. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, why is there a trail of cracker crumbs and cracker wrappers in her room? Now, let me set the backstory for this. Over the weekend, Maggie wouldn't eat. We literally couldn't get her to eat anything. Nothing. And I told Mr. Coffee, I'm worried. We're going to have to put her on vitamins. We're going to have to get her some other shakes for kids that don't like to eat food because she's getting super extra picky. And I don't know why. She's never been like this, but she's never been to the point where she literally hadn't eaten anything. Like it seemed like she hadn't eaten anything all weekend. We asked her what kind of cereal she wanted. We got the cereal and then she still didn't eat it. And I was just like, okay, something's up. And Mr. Coffee's like, no, she's just a kid. This is what kids do. I'm like, kids don't starve themselves. Kids aren't like, you know what? I'm going to get back at my parents and just not eat food. Food's not a thing. I'm like, something's up. He's like, nah, you're paranoid. And I'm like, I'm not paranoid. I'm telling you, something's up. I know my children. Something is up. He should have listened to me. Something was up. Saturday, we played with the kids for a little bit before everybody dispersed and started doing their own thing. Okay. Maggie had said she wanted crackers for breakfast. We told her no. Well, I could only assume that after she was told no, Maggie decided to take matters into her own hands and go, I want crackers. I will be eating crackers. Now we bought, Mr. Coffee went to the store Saturday morning and went grocery shopping. And I'm putting these in here so I don't spill them out again because I've already spilled them twice. Yeah. The fiery rage of fury that Miss Coffee is going through right now, I have no words. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, every Monday morning, what I do after I get the kids off to school and I walk the dogs, I usually go outside or I go in the kids' rooms. I pick up anything that they might have left on their floor. I vacuum. I check their rooms for, what have you, intruders, burglars, monsters, whatever. With my kids, you don't know, okay? I'm just putting that out there. With my kids, you never know what could be in their room. So I'm checking their room. And I also vacuum. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing. Like, I want you to see the struggle that Miss Coffee is going through right now. I check their rooms just to make sure everything's okay. And I also vacuum. Well, I went into Hansel and Gretel. I was in a fairy tale in Maggie's room because I was at Hansel and Gretel. And I'm following the cracker crumbs and the torn up cracker packets. And I don't know how I missed them the first time because when I went and put her in bed, oh, that went across the room. When I went and put her in bed, when was that? Saturday? I saw a cracker wrapper in her bed and I fussed at her because, we don't eat in the room and you know better than that. So she was put on punishment Sunday. Well, she kept coming out of her room going into the kitchen and I couldn't figure out why. And she has security cameras, but I didn't think to look on the security camera in her room because when I did look, on the times that I did look, she was just sitting on her bed playing with her Barbies. All right, cool. And I was running around doing laundry, cleaning the house, what have you. Well, at some point, she had gone into the kitchen and stolen the entire box of peanut butter cheddar crackers and ate them. Luckily, there was only 4 packs of them in there. I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking of, protein overload. Like, that's a thing. I'm like, this would explain why she wouldn't eat her dinner, why she didn't want breakfast. Like, what the hell? She gets home from school yesterday and then tells me that she was having a tea party with her Barbies and they told her that she had to bring the snacks. So she brought the snacks, which was the peanut butter crackers. She goes, you didn't find the juice, did you? And I'm like, I'm sorry, the what? She has little teacups in her room. I didn't even notice. But apparently, when she was having said tea party where she had to bring the snacks, she also poured all of them juice. So there's cups of juice just chilling in her room. And I'm like, what kind of miserable parent am I that I didn't notice tiny little cups of juice in her room? Y'all, you ever have that moment where you look at your kid because they've done something really bad and all you can do is shake your head and close the door behind you? I had one of those moments. I just kind of looked at Maggie and she's like, I was just trying to, like, she's yelling it and trying not to cry. And she's like, I'm just trying to be a good host, Mom. It's hard. And I just looked at her, took a deep breath, closed the door, and walked away. Mr. Coffee looks at me. He goes, what's wrong? I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. I'm like, I'm not even, I can't with your daughter right now. I can't. And he's just like asking me what's happening. And I messaged him while he was at work to let him know that I found out what happened to all the crackers. Because, of course, I go to get them snack Monday morning and all the crackers are gone. And I'm like, what the hell? We just bought crackers. Yeah, we did. And Maggie ate them. So I guess she must have done it after lunch because she had a pack of crackers with her lunch. And all the crackers were still there. Like he had just gotten back from the grocery store. So I'm guessing she did it after lunch when I went to go do laundry. And men don't watch children like women watch children. Like women hawkeye children to death. Men listen. That's how men babysit. They listen. They hear a noise. They ask what the noise is. They go back to doing what they're doing. So Mr. Coffee was playing his video game and just didn't really notice that his daughter had taken an entire box of crackers out of the kitchen, ran to her room and ate them. And also took a juice to go, because you can't have peanut butter crackers without washing it down with something. So, she had to take the juice to wash it down for her and the Barbies. Y'all, she was just trying to be a good host. I feel bad for yelling at her, but I yelled at her because, no, you don't do that. And if the Barbies are telling you that you need to bring snacks, you bring imaginary snacks. You don't bring real snacks because the only person eating them is you. And she goes, I know, that's the best part of this. You guys, I don't. So you ever think some days you're just not cut out to be a parent? That was one of those days. I was just like, I'm not parent material. Like there's, oh my God. Also, I put up a post on my Instagram and I was showing my new rings. Well, our new rings. Me and Mr. Coffee, for those folks that are new, hey, I'm Miss Coffee. Usually we're doing a regular diamond painting, like, in real time, actually putting the drills on. But today we're doing a reverse diamond painting or reverse Wip and Chat. So if you watch this in reverse, you won't understand a word I'm saying, but I'm putting all the drills back down. So this is a diamond painting Wip and Chat in reverse. Either way, I bought new rings for Valentine's Day for me and Mr. Coffee. A lot of people thought it was our anniversary. Our anniversary is actually in October. It's October 26th. But I bought rings for our anniversary, and I'll explain why. So if you remember my old ring, this is the new ring. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. I love it. Has like little designs on the side and everything. Yes. So it's rose gold and it says the word love. Now I have a bad feeling because somebody asked where I got it and I have a bad feeling somebody's going to show up with this ring. Either way. But I bought us new rings because if you don't know, Mr. Coffee works in the oil field. And so he can't wear a regular wedding band. So but he can wear the silicone rings because if something were to happen where his finger was to get caught on something, it would just rip the ring. It wouldn't rip the skin off his finger. So we go silicone. And because he can't wear his, I don't want to wear my regular traditional wedding ring. So we have our wedding rings put up and we wear the silicone rings. Now, yeah, I have a regular wedding ring, but I want to support him. And so I don't wear mine because I don't feel that's fair either way. So I'm sitting there, and one day I'm sitting on the couch here, and I see him fiddling with his finger, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, my ring's bothering me. Y'all, now because we wear the silicone rings, Mr. Coffee works with all types of chemicals, acids, what have you. I seen his ring, and it looked like he got hungry on lunch break one day and forgot to take a lunch, and he's just started gnawing at his own ring. And I was like, why does it look shredded? Now, when you look at the ring, my old ring, of course, was black and white and had like an arrow. This one has the rose gold, and it has the black underneath. So if you look underneath it, it has black. So it's double layered. Well, the top layer of his started coming off. And I'm like, what? Are you hungry? He looks at me, he goes, why am I hungry? I'm like, I don't know. It looks like you were eating at your ring. And he's like, I'm not hungry. And I'm like, are you sure? Because it literally looks like you got hungry on, oh crap. I'm like, it literally looks like you got hungry on lunch break and started gnawing at your own finger. And he's like, no, it's because of all the chemicals I work with. I'm like, I work with a lot of bleach and my ring ain't doing that, okay? So apparently these rings are good with bleach, not so much with acids and stuff from the oil field either way. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, okay. I nailed it for Christmas for Mr. Coffee. And he's been doing really good at getting me gifts. So for those folks that are like, you gotta give him credit, I will give him credit. He's been doing really good for gifts. So I'm like, I want to get him something really special for Valentine's Day. We're not big Valentine's Day people, mostly because we were too broke to celebrate Valentine's Day. And now we're not that broke that we can't celebrate it. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to get him a new ring for Valentine's Day. Now, I wasn't expecting the ring to get here so freaking fast, but it did, and I didn't want to wait. We're not good at waiting for stuff. Like, we are, like, the most impatient couple you will ever meet. Is anybody else like that with their relationship? Like, they're impatient when it comes to giving their partner gifts? Or will you hold a gift forever until it's time to reveal the gift? Put that down in the comment section. So, we are impatient. So, we don't like to wait. So, whenever we get gifts for each other, we can never wait. Christmas was the first time I've ever waited to give Mr. Coffee a gift. But I wanted him to have something to open on Christmas Day instead of, like, all beforehand. Which, I think he only opened one thing because he opened the other 3 things beforehand. But, yeah, so I got him a new ring. So the post you see on Instagram, it's not because it's our anniversary. Because, again, our anniversary is in October. But I do thank those folks that thought it was our anniversary and they were like, happy anniversary. I'm like, thank you, but it's not our anniversary. Our anniversary is in October. I had to buy him a new ring because he looked like he was hungry, and I gave him a sandwich when I gave him, like, I pulled one of those numbers where, like, I was going to put the ring in the sandwich, but Mr. Coffee is a man, and he would have eaten the ring. So I was like, nah, I better not put it in the sandwich. So I like, waited till he got home, and he comes home from work every day and does the same thing. He touches all the walls. I go behind him with a rag that's with hot, soapy water, and I wipe down all the walls as he's coming into the house. I don't even think he realizes that I'm doing it, but yeah, I'm doing it because he literally would touch all the walls. You would think he was like a drunken sailor the way he comes in, and he's just like, hey, everybody. Like, he has to touch everything. Either way. So I'm sitting there, and I'm walking behind him. He goes to the room. He takes off his work clothes. He puts them in the washer. He puts on his comfy clothes, and he comes back out to get his plate for dinner. And I go, hey, I got something for you. And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, what is it? And I was like, well, remember how I asked you if you were hungry the other day? And you told me no. And I told you, I asked you if you were hungry because it looked like you had been eating your wedding ring. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, here you go. Now, Mr. Coffee is, like, obsessed right now with these hot and spicy patties from, Walmart. So I made him a hot and spicy patty. Now, there was a plate of dinner in the microwave for him because we had just finished eating. I try to get the kids fed before he gets home because then if not, then he has to spend his entire time trying to eat and yell at them to eat their food. So I did all the yelling so he could have a relaxing meal for once because he gets so worked up. So I go, okay, I got something for you. He goes, what you got? So I pull the sandwich out of the microwave. He goes, oh, you made me a chicken patty sandwich? He goes, you didn't have to make me a chicken patty sandwich. There's already a plate of dinner in there. I'm like, I know, but this is a special chicken patty sandwich. And he goes, why is it special? And so I show it to him, and sitting right on top was his ring. And I go, this way, if you're hungry you don't have to eat your ring anymore. You can just eat this sandwich. And he's just like, I don't know whether that's romantic or concerning. I'm like, me either, because I'm not the one eating my wedding ring. My wedding ring looked fine. And he goes, when did you get this? Okay, so you guys, I had to do secret opt, okay? I don't know what size ring Mr. Coffee wears. But because we wear the silicone rings, the cool thing about them is on the inside of the ring, it tells you what size it is. So while he was sleeping one night, now you guys, if you don't know, Mr. Coffee is a hard sleeper. You could murder him in his sleep. He will wake up dead. He'll be like, I had no clue I got murdered. So when he was sleeping one night, I had to get his hand from underneath his pillow. Now, Mr. Coffee is also strong. Okay, don't laugh. But when I was trying to get his ring size, one, I had a flashlight. So I had my cell phone. Now, okay, just imagine this. Kind of, sort of, not really. It's like 2 a.m. I'm still up because I have to get this ring size. I have the flashlight on my phone on. I'm in just my pajamas, which is just a long shirt. I'm crawling all over him in his sleep, trying to get his finger, which when Mr. Coffee sleeps, he sleeps with his hands underneath, like he sleeps on his back with his hands underneath the pillow. So his hands are above his head underneath his pillow. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I have to get the size of this ring so I can order the ring so it's here by Valentine's Day. So I'm crawling all over the top of him trying to get this thing. He takes the one hand without the ring on it and he starts rubbing my back. And I'm like, don't get fresh with me right now. I'm trying to do something. This is secret ops. I'm not saying it out loud. I'm thinking it in my head because I'm like, I'm not trying to get it on, buddy. I'm trying to figure out what size your ring is. So then I finally get the other hand from underneath the pillow, but because he was asleep, he didn't know what was going on and he wasn't waking up. Even though I'm crawling all over him, he wasn't waking up. But apparently if you mess with his hands, he'll flinch. So I didn't realize this. Well, I went to go grab his hand and he like kind of was like, where he kind of threw his hand to the side, but he's strong, you guys. He's so strong. I lost my balance and fell on the floor, hit my head on his nightstand. I'm fine. But he then rolled over to the, like, my side of the bed. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. He rolled over, so he didn't put his arms back underneath the pillow. Secret op is still a go. So I get back in bed, and I, like, try to, like, snuggle up to him. And depending on how far over he is, when he tries to cuddle with me when he's sleeping, his ring hand is the one that he wraps around me. So I was like, ooh. Yeah, okay, I had to push him off essentially I had to push him to my side of the bed so that his ring hand, hold up, was it my side of the bed? Yeah, I had to push him over to my side of the bed so that his ring hand was the one that was laying over top of me. And then as I got back in bed, he rolled back over to the side. And I went, no, I want to cuddle. Cuddle with me. You ever had to viciously, very quietly tell someone to cuddle with you? Yeah, that's the life I live, folks. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, cuddle with me. Jordan, cuddle with me. And he's like, So he rolls over and he cuddles with me and I'm like, yes. Shh. So I'm sitting there very quietly and I'm like, okay, I got this. I got this. So I then grab his hand and I act like I'm like holding hands with him and I start messing with this ring. Now, I didn't realize how attached Mr. Coffee was to this ring. It was a whole secret op, okay? I go to touch the ring and he starts like, stop messing with my hand. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to hold your hand. I'm trying to be sweet. And he's like, just go to sleep. I'm like, okay. So I had to wait another 30 minutes, y'all. I didn't go to bed till 4 a.m. trying to get the size of this damn ring. But I finally got it. And he sees the ring yesterday, which was Monday. And he's like, you got me a new ring? I was like, well, yeah, because your ring, again, looked like you were eating it for lunch. And I also packed you a lunch for work tomorrow. And he's like, one of the guys is bringing lunch, but thank you. And I was like, you know what? I give up on life. You ever have one of those days where you feel like you're not cut out to be a wife? Yeah, that was yesterday. So today, as I'm diamond painting, I get a phone call from my sister in the middle of recording, and I lose my mind because, yeah, I'm recording. My family knows that I record when the kids are in school. It's the only time I have to record. And apparently she wanted to call to tell me to get my dog, because if you guys didn't know, I have a third dog named Achilles that stays with my parents. Because I can only have 2 dogs where I live, so I had to keep one of the dogs with my parents. Okay, sorry, I had to take a break for a second there. So we got Mr. Coffee's ring. We found the Cracker Bandit, Hansel and Gretel. Let's talk about Orion now, you guys. What are they doing to my son? What have they done to my son? My son has become one of them. You guys. Now, you guys know I'm always talking about the weather. There's 3. You know when you come into my channel, there's like 3 things I'm always going to talk about. How cold it is, not wanting to wear pants, and my kids, mostly Maggie. But let's talk about Orion for a second. Let's chit-chat about my 8-year-old who's about to turn 9. Let's figure that out. How is my son turning 9? How? When does this happen? Like I talk to Laura Law's Craft Corner a lot, and she has older children, like they're in college and stuff, and I sit and talk to her and listen to her talk about her kids, and I'm like, I can't imagine my kids being that much old, like being that old. Like her kids are in their 20s, I guess. I think so. And I'm like, I can't imagine like Maggie and Orion being that, at that age. I can't imagine them not being in the house with me. So I kind of like, I don't know. I'm sad for her because like, I'm sad for anyone whose kids are out of the house. Not my parents though, because my parents are insane. But like everybody else, like you guys, I know his birthday's coming. Orion's birthday is February 11th. And I asked him the normal question, what do you want for your birthday? And he's like, I don't know. Whatever you decide to get me. I already have everything I want. And I was like, okay, you want some money or something? He goes, no. How about Pokemon stuff? So he wants Pokemon stuff and Fortnite stuff. So I was like, all right, fine. We'll get you what we didn't get you for Christmas for your birthday. Plus, his birthday is like the most opportune time ever because like I remember the day after I had him, I got my tax return in. Yes! So he always gets really good birthday presents. And we, of course, stash money away for Maggie to make sure she gets a good birthday present. And Minna, for those wondering, Minna's doing fine. She is getting ready for a cheerleading competition in Pennsylvania where she lives. So she's doing just fine. She does say hi to everyone. She misses everyone in lives now because she has practice and stuff, so she can't always be there. But she does say hi, send her love to everyone. So, if you want to send Minna a little message down in the comment section, that'd be nice. Either way. I can't believe how many of these I put on the wrong spot. This is like the weirdest Wip and Chat ever. One is fueled by anger. Just know that. Okay, I'm getting off topic. All right, so let's talk about Orion. So as I sit and I am getting ready to go get the kids, a couple of things happen. One, I have to go walk the dogs first. Like I can't just go get the kids. I have to walk the dogs first. So I walk the dogs, and I usually don't take my phone with me because that's my electronic free time. It's my time during the day where I clear my mind and I don't think about, the dangers or whatever of YouTube and all this other fun stuff. I'm just a regular person walking a dog. No, come here. Come here. There we go. So, hold up, I think that one was supposed to be there. Are you different than the other ones? Y'all, I'm riding the struggle bus hard today, y'all. All right, so I'm sitting there and I'll go walk the dogs, and I have on my big jacket now. You guys, knock on wood. We have been out. We have been out of the negatives for a week. We've been in the low 30s, low 20s at night. So we've actually been doing decent on the weather. The weather is starting to warm up. Like it's almost like it's an early spring. Don't tell Mother Nature, she'll get angry and snow on us again. But we can get snow here in North Dakota up until June. So, and I do remember a day in June, the year we moved here, where it actually did, like, it flurried. And I was like, what the hell? And I told you guys, these people around here are a different breed of people. Okay, they're not like normal people. These people are built like Chevy tough, like, good God. So I'm sitting here and I go walk the dogs that day, and you know, I hate walking the dogs, but I do it anyway because I love my dogs and I need the exercise. God knows I need the exercise. So I'm sitting here, y'all, I'm over here looking like a Krispy Kreme donut half the time, talking about I don't need exercise. I need the exercise. I might actually walk them today instead of like driving, because it's been cold. I've been driving them over, so I'm probably just gonna walk them today just so I can get out and get exercise either way. So I'm sitting there and I have on my big winter hat and everything, and that's supposed to be there. And so I go pick up the kids from school. I might actually get to actual diamond paint, y'all. I might actually thank y'all for sitting with me and getting through this. If you've made it to this point in the video, give me a smiley face in the chat, or in the comment section in the chat. You're not live with me. But I'm sitting there and I'm minding my own business, and I have my big old winter jacket on. I have my hat, my gloves, like my face is covered. It was a brisk day. It wasn't frigidly cold, but it was cold enough that I felt like I needed all my things on. So I'm sitting there. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. Over the weekend, I promise I'll get back to the story with a rhyme. Over the weekend, I was talking to Jinjin's Creation Wall, and she wanted a coloring book and told her I'd get it for her, and it just arrived at her house. So I'm pretty sure I'll be getting a message from her here in a few minutes. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and I have all my stuff on. And y'all remember I was telling y'all a couple weeks ago about the little kids not having jackets on. They're too cool for school. They can't be bothered to wear jackets, blah, blah, blah. Well, you guys, my son comes out of the school the other day wide open, okay? I'm talking about wide open. He has on his snow pants and his snow boots. No jacket, no hat, no gloves. What the hell? I did not send you to school half naked. Why are you half naked? He goes, Mom, I'm not half naked. I have on thermals and a long sleeve shirt. It's just hot. I'm like, it's not hot. What the hell you mean hot? He's like, Mom, it's hot out here. Like, I have all these layers on. It's too hot. I'm like, little boy, if you don't put that jacket on, yeah, I want you to feel like you're in Hades, okay? Like, I want you to be warm. And he's like, Mom, I'm warm. So I'm putting on his jacket, and he's like fighting me, like, you know, little kid fighting me. Mom, don't, Mom. Y'all, my son looked me dead in the retinas, into the depths of my soul, and was like, Mama, it's not cold out here. You are overreacting. It is 32 degrees. That's above freezing, y'all. My son called me, said I was overreacting. And I'm like, I'm not overreacting, sir. It is cold, and I refuse to have you come home with a cold. I tell you every day to have fun and have a good day. Is getting a cold having a good day? And he's like, no. I'm like, is getting pneumonia good? And he goes, what's pneumonia? You know what it is. And he's like, I really don't. And I'm like, dude, look here. I did not send you to school for two things. There are two things that you do not come home from school. Look, he's like, what? I'm like, you don't come home sick and you don't come home dumb. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, and if you're one to come out here wide open with no jacket and no hat and no gloves, you know you're sickly. And he goes, Mom, I'm not sickly. I'm like, you know damn well you're sickly. All right. Sorry about that interruption. The Schwann's guy came to bring me my groceries. So apparently Orion thinks I overreact to the weather. And he might be right. But listen. I had to channel my inner Laura Law there. I have every right to over-exaggerate because, like, where we're not right now, we're not in, like, it's warmer out-ish. Now we have the mushy snow that turns soupy. So now you're stepping in soupy, mushy, yucky, dirty snow. And then, like, the other day, I mopped the floors. I was so proud of myself. I got up. I got dressed. I got the house cleaned up. I got the kids in and out of the shower when they got home from school. Then Mr. Coffee comes home and tramples all over my clean floor with his boots. And he's like, it's cold out there. I'm like, no, nobody in the house is ever allowed to say it's cold anymore because Orion thinks that we over exaggerate. He's like, Mom, it wasn't that cold. So I told Mr. Coffee what had happened. And I was like, see, what had happened was, right, your son seems to think that I'm dramatic. He's like, Mom, you're doing it now. No, I'm not. He's like, Mom, you're a little over the top. How do you speak to your mother in such a way? And Jordan's like looking at me. He's just like, hun. I'm like, I am your mother and you shall not. And he's like, hun, you're doing it. I'm like, I'm doing what? He's like, you're being a little dramatic. How dare you take sides of ours? And he's like, why are you talking like you're from the 1900s? Stop it. And I was like, I shall not. Like, I went on for a good 10 minutes and he was just like, come on, Orion, let's go play a game. And he's like, okay. He's like, Dad, but it really wasn't that cold outside today. It really wasn't. I'm like, well, then you can deal with your son when he catches the pneumonia. And Mr. Coffee just looks at me. He goes, dude, I don't know what's wrong with your mom today, but let her just get out of her system. We're just going to leave her there to fart and fume for a little while. We're going to go play a game. And I'm like, how dare thy leave? Like, you guys. I will admit that I get over exaggerated with some things, but I don't want my kids catching pneumonia. You know how many days of pneumonia that lasts? I don't want to deal with that. Like, I just want him to put I'm like, if you just put your jacket on, like when I finally calmed down, I told him, if you just put your jacket on, I wouldn't be all dramatic. And he goes, Mom, you're always dramatic. He goes, I watch your unboxings. You do the most. And I was like, wow, you don't like my unboxing? He goes, no, it's nice, but you do the most. And I was like, thank you. So apparently Orion thinks I'm a little over the top with my unboxings, and I'm like, that's not the first time I've heard that one. Usually I just hear it from subscribers, but to hear it from your own child, the betrayal, you guys, the betrayal. I feel the betrayal down in the conkles of my soul. So, like, I felt some type of way when he told me that he thought my unboxings were a little over the top. And I was like, that's what makes Miss Coffee, Miss Coffee. And he goes, but to me, you're just Mom and you act like this all the time. And I was like, you're welcome. And he goes, yeah. And he just walks away. And I'm like, your son. And Mr. Coffee just looks at me. And he's just like, I'm also going to walk away. Y'all, why they hating on me? Why won't they just let me be great? Why they won't let me be great? I don't know. Hopefully you actually got some work done during this Wip and Chat, because Lord knows I got something done that was not working. Yeah, it's a whole hot mess. So I had somebody tell me, they're like, for someone who never leaves the house, you always have a story. And I'm like, dude, just imagine if I did leave the house. Imagine if I had a regular job. Could you imagine coming into a convenience store and I was the clerk? Or going into a restaurant and I was your waitress? Jobs Miss Coffee shouldn't have. Anything around people. Now, I did good as a waitress. But I've never worked in a convenience store before. I kind of got a taste of it, what it would be like, though, because my mom, when I was growing up, worked at a convenience store. And when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 or something, she, give me that. She would take us to work with her, and we got to sit all day drinking all the soda out the fountain machine. We got to sit with her all day and learn what it's like to work at a convenience store. And it was actually pretty nice because, again, we got to drink. Can you imagine sitting at a convenience store for, 9-10 hours and being able to drink all the freaking slushies and soda and eat all the kielbasas or hot dogs that you want? And I don't remember the name of the store, but it's down south. And they made these specialty biscuits. Like, they had cinnamon raisin and blueberry and banana. And they had all these, seasonal, or not seasonal. They had all these, pastries and stuff that they would make, too, for the store. And, hot dogs. And we would have to sit at the store with my mom while she worked because we didn't have a babysitter. Which, back in the day, we probably could have just watched ourselves. But then again, the last time my parents let my sibling watch us, he burnt our house down. So, that was a thing. That's back when we lived in Kansas. We lived in Topeka for a few years until my brother burnt the house down. They found me down the street with our dog Coco. I had a Chow Chow, and I took and rode that Chow Chow down the street about 3 or 4 blocks before my parents found me. I was out. I'm sorry, you said fire? I'm out. Nope, don't do fire. Too hot. Nope. Like, I understand, you know, melting those sins away, but that's a little too much. Luckily, there was nobody else in the house, and what happened was my brother was trying to make pork rinds, and you know how when you're trying to make something in grease and you scared of it because it's gonna pop that hot grease on you, so you like stand back and you're doing that you try to like throw it in there. That's what he attempted to do, and because they were still frozen, yeah, whoosh, there went the house. So yeah, so there's that. But I don't know. I'm just glad that I got almost all of these up. I was getting ready to like freak out when I did this. I was so mad that I put all these drills in the wrong, gosh darn it. I put all these drills in the wrong spot. Oh, nope, it was on my hand and I wiped my face. Oh no, there it is. Got it. Now I'm going to be finding drills everywhere. I flung a couple of them, so I know I'm going to find them all over the place. All right, question of the video. Where's the weirdest place you found a diamond drill? Doesn't matter the shape. And I always notice it's usually rounds are the ones that are being found everywhere. Squares are just like, nah, we belong on the canvas. We're going on the canvas. But rounds, they're like, we're going around the world, or at least around your apartment. Like, I feel like rounds are the most disrespectful of shapes for diamond painting because they feel like they deserve to be everywhere and nowhere. So when I was working on that home craftology kit, I lost an entire bag of 3822, which is, I guess it said it yellow. I had to pull some out of my stash. Luckily, I had some extras from another project, but I had to pull some out of my stash because I literally needed 6 diamonds. 6. I still have not found said bag of diamonds, but I'm pretty sure I'll find it. And when I find them, it'll be in a dumb place, like up under this pillow that I sit on. Well, I don't sit on a pillow. The pillow sits behind me to kind of give me some back support. Sometimes you need a little extra support, you know? The interruption today, you guys, I'm so sorry. Mr. Coffee called. He's not feeling well. Told him to man up. I think he's getting sick anyways because he came home yesterday. How you can tell Mr. Coffee is sick? He'll say he's cold. Mr. Coffee is never cold, ever. Never cold. Until it's Friday night. And on Friday nights when I go live, which for those wondering, yes, I will be back to my normal live schedule this week. So I will see you guys in live. For those who come to my live, you'll probably hear Mr. Coffee say he's cold. That doesn't mean he's sick. That's because I have the back door open because I don't want my phone to overheat, and that seems to be the only way that I can do it. Somebody was like, put a wet towel or something on it, and I was like, you want me to put a wet towel on my phone? No, that's not happening. So he came home yesterday and he was saying that he was sore and that he was cold. And I was like, oh God, he's getting sick. Well, he called me just now to let me know he really didn't feel good. And I was like, well, you can either do one of two things. You can man up and finish your work day and then call off tomorrow, or you can come home. And he goes, when you put it like that, I'm like, well, I'm just saying, like, because what ends up happening is if he comes home early from work, unless one of the kids is sick, he will spend the rest of the day complaining that he feels bad that he left work early. So usually I just tell him to man up, finish out your work day, and if you still feel like garbage the next day, you can just call off. So I guess he is going to finish out his work day and see how he feels tomorrow. So hopefully he's not getting sick. But, you know, that going back to like, you know, me being over dramatic about it being cold outside. Yeah, he ain't been wearing his jacket either. So when he catches the pneumonia, y'all gonna hear about it. I'm telling you right now. And by the way, I know it's not pronounced pneumonia, but that's what we call it in the house. I know it's pneumonia. Remember, my dad's an old-timey doctor. Speaking of old-timey doctors, let me tell y'all about a story about Paw Paw real quick before I let you go. So, I have been being told a lot lately that I'm not a spring chicken. Like, things, I feel like at 30 something years old, my body is betraying me, and like I feel like, you ever watch a video where somebody like falls and lands the wrong way and like they twist their ankle or something, and you're like, I felt that down in the conkles of my joints. That's what I've been going, that's the life I've been living lately. Like, I see stuff on Facebook and whatever, and I'm like, I can feel that deep down in my joint buckles. Like, I can feel it. Well, I got up Saturday morning and I couldn't walk. Like, my foot was really bothering me. I'm like, what the world? Now, I don't like people touching my feet. I'm not a feet person. I hate feet, and I really hate when people touch my feet. And so, is that in the right place? Right? Yep. You're in the right place. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Round of applause to you guys. You guys just sat through me getting all those diamonds up. So I'm sitting there and I couldn't walk. So of course, what do? I don't go to the doctor just for anything. Like, I have to be dying. So, I mean, crap, I walked on a broken toe for days before I went to the doctor and had them tell me that the toe was broken. And that's what happens when I play with the kids. I hurt myself. So I'll tell you that story next Wip and Chat. But, I call Paw Paw and I'm like, Paw Paw, look, listen, okay? My foot hurts. I don't know what's wrong with it. I put those away. I could have just put them on the, you know what? We're just gonna, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with my foot, but my foot hurts really bad. I woke up this morning and I could barely stand up. I don't know what's going on. I explained to him where it hurts and how it hurts. And he goes, oh, the arch in your foot dropped. I'm like, well, I'm thinking, oh, well, I think I felt that pain before. It's not anything like this. He goes, no, it completely dropped. I tell, who is it? Laura Law. I tell her that my foot thing dropped. And she goes, oh, pull out your stilettos, darling. Put your stilettos on and walk around in those. I don't have stilettos. I'm 6'1". I do have heels. So I walked around for about a good, I don't know, hour in my sweatpants, cleaning the house, vacuuming in heels and sweatpants. Don't judge me. So I think Laura has a little bit of old-timey doctor in her too. But my dad was just like, oh, it sounds like your arch dropped. So what you're going to want to do is go up in your cabinet, right? Get a can of beans and then roll your foot on it. And I was like, I'm sorry. What was that? This man told me to go up in my cabinet and get a can of beans and roll my foot on the can of beans. Y'all, why did it work? Why did it work? For those wondering why I call my dad an old-timey doctor, what doctor would tell you to get a can of beans out of your cabinet? What doctor would know you have a can of beans in your cabinet? My dad knows. One of my favorite things on this planet is pork and beans. I love pork and beans. Do you like pork and beans? Is anybody else with me with the pork and beans? I love pork and beans. Whether you cut up little hot dogs in them or you put it over white rice. Have you ever had pork and beans over white rice? Good God. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, how did he even know I got pork and beans? As if he could hear me thinking it. He goes, I know you got a can of pork and beans up there. You know what? Don't mind my business, Paw Paw. So I get the beans out. I roll my foot on it for a few hours. Boom, the foot feels better. But I forgot to put the can of beans back. So Mr. Coffee comes home and he goes, are you planning to be a hobo? And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes, are you planning to be a hobo? And I'm like, what? And he goes, why is there a can of beans by your foot? So then I have to explain to him the old-timey doctor call, or I called the old-timey doctor because my foot was bothering me. And he told me to roll my foot on a can of beans. And so Mr. Coffee then goes into the room. I didn't know why he just got up and left in the middle of me talking. He goes in the room and he has this spear that he keeps in our room that he made out of a chunk of wood that he found upon his travels as whatever. And he turned it into a spear. So he grabs the stick. I call it the stick. He grabs the stick and a handkerchief and grabs the beans and puts the beans in the handkerchief and then ties the beans to the stick with the handkerchief. He ties the handkerchief to the stick with the beans in the handkerchief. And he goes, there. And I'm like, you think you're funny right now? He goes, Well, now you can be a hobo, and then anytime your foot bothers you, you can use the can to roll your foot on, and you can eat the beans in your travels. Yo, Mr. Coffee got jokes, yo. Why he always messing with me? I don't mess with nobody. I mind my damn business. He got hobo jokes. He got hobo jokes. He goes, well, you're always talking about being as confused as a hobo on house arrest. And I'm like, that's a homeless guy on house arrest. There's a difference. And he goes, what's the difference? I'm like, one is homeless. A hobo roams. They don't really have a home, but they're not necessarily homeless. Like, they stay with any and everybody. Like, there is a difference. We had a whole 45-minute conversation about the difference between hobos and homeless people. That's the story of my life, folks. And again, for that person that was like, you don't ever leave the house, but you always have stories. Well, guess what? I have to leave the house on Friday to go read to the kids at school. So I'm pretty sure I'll have some more stories. Like when I did this last time, I want to say in December, and some little kid asked me if I was pregnant, and I wanted to throat punch a small child, but I thought, better against it because that wasn't my kid to be throat punching. But he could have got it, and I was like, no, I just like tacos. Now I want tacos. Either way, I think that's it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for hanging tough with me and getting through this entire Wip and Chat. If you have made it all the way to the end, go ahead and put up your favorite emoji. Like, even if it's put up the poop emoji. Put up the poop emoji in the comment section if you made it all the way to the end and you listened to the whole video. But with that said, folks, I am now going to have to bid you adieu. But before I do, for those folks wondering, because I meant to do this before, and because I had recorded it, it's a whole hot mess, folks. I am working on Mort from DIY Moon Shop. It's from artist Leilani Joy. I will have a picture pop up for you guys so you can see what she looks like. Yeah. Sorry, I probably should have said that at the beginning, but I was mad, y'all. Y'all helped calm me down. Y'all helped me so much, y'all don't even realize it. So thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing what your favorite emoji is. If you don't have a favorite emoji, just put the poop emoji up because that's always funny. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put those down in the comment section below as well. But with that said, folks, again, I will be back to my regular schedule live this week. I will have reviews on the Ohuhu brush tip skin tone markers and the Parku 80 markers, the 80 set of markers that they just came out with. They sent me those over for review, so you will get those videos. If not this week, you'll definitely get them next week. So be looking out for those. So for those folks that love to color or have been coloring with me or following me in my coloring escapades, don't worry, it's coming back. I was just waiting for these markers to get here. So with that said, folks, I am now going to have to bid you adieu. But not before I remind you that if you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this one, yeah, they're all like this, mostly, sometimes, maybe. Either way, if you would like to see more random crazy videos like this and you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, the videos going up isn't random, just what they are is random. But with that said, folks, I'm now going to have to bid you adieu. But not before I remind you, like I always try to. Be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.